Welcome. You are listening to The Travel Winds, hosted by Pete Kotzbach. This is a weekly interview show about people who travel for work and all the ups and downs that go along with it. Here we go.
Hey, welcome to the Travel Winds podcast. My guests today are Bryan and Leah. Bryan will be on your right and Leah on your left, if you're watching this on YouTube. From the duo Velvet Rodeo, based out of Nashville now, originally from North Carolina. They had their new album called Back in the Saddle, just released in, I think, May, if I'm correct. It's an 11-track. It's an 11-track album, and their best track is their 11th song, but that's just my opinion. How y'all doing today?
We're doing good.
We're doing great. Yeah, Thank you for having us.
This is going to be awesome. I'm excited to talk to you on the show. With your recent TikTok fame, it's been, that's literally how I found you guys. I was just
Right. It's how a lot of people found us now.
It's all good, right?
Yeah,
it is.
All
you're
good.
You're gonna be up for the Carolina CMA Artist of the Year award. That's gonna be pretty cool.
Yep. Entertainer of the Year. We're super excited, and it's been kind of a crazy journey this year with that. And our song "Bridges That I've Burned" has now won twice for best song, and so now we're up for Entertainer of the Year, and will be December 1st. Voting opens for that, so anyone can vote for that one.
We'll go ahead and start on the first day of the month instead of the last day.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll try to hit it. Yeah.
We won't be so far behind this time. We'll have an extra 30 days.
Yeah. What's so crazy is we won in June, and we did not know that they had put us in for another month.
We never expected to be nominated for the following month. Yeah, it was. Yeah, and no one contacted us. No one picked up a phone. But it's okay. We won again.
Did you already check for August?
I did. Yeah. That's the first thing I did. I checked for August, and no,
we're not in there.
We're not for this month. Thank goodness.
I think there's probably some upset people too, because they were winning.
Their time will come. Their time will come.
It's all relative.
It is. Okay. Yeah.
So the guy that was in first on the 30th probably woke up going, woohoo!
Oh, no, we felt bad.
Yeah, we felt a little bad. We felt a little bad, but we've also been that person before, so
yeah, and you might be again. So who knows?
And
right?
we very well be again.
So.
Yeah.
Very well be.
You take the W's when you get them.
Yeah,
that's right. And that's what I told Leah. She was like, "I don't know that we should say anything and try to win this month." And I'm like, "Absolutely, we should." We
almost did nothing. We almost said nothing, did nothing. Because we had less than half a day. It was 4:00 in the evening when we found out we had till midnight that night. Actually, 11 o'clock our time to win it. But our TikTok followers came through, and our Facebook followers came through, and it was amazing. Yeah.
Just one of the first of many wins, hopefully, right?
We hope so. I mean, it's kind of like we always tell everybody about tips during our shows.
Yeah.
It's not all about the tips, but the tips are a great way to kind of judge where you are. If you're making people have a tip, I always call it's like a great litmus test for how you're doing. And that's really where the tipping comes into play is, it's not all about the money.
Right.
But it sure doesn't hurt.
It doesn't hurt.
No, it always helps to make more music,
That's right.
Puts a little gas in the tank and gets you down the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which costs more and more every day.
The one thing you should wait till you come out to California.
We were
there in November. Yeah.
I paid $5.99 yesterday to fill up a gallon. So
yeah, we were there. We actually did a show out there, and we were there for about a week, and we had to stop and get gas, and it was like, oh my goodness, this much different than what we're accustomed to.
But it was beautiful. It was beautiful out there in California.
And you paid for it.
And we paid for it.
That's how we feel. It is what it is. You can't get around it.
Yeah.
No. Move to Nashville. That's what everybody else seems to be doing.
Yeah.
So.
Maybe not Nashville, but outside of Nashville.
Well, the music industry,
things like definitely.
We keep hearing over and over how the LA music scene is moving to Nashville.
Yeah.
Sure. I have a lot of friends, a couple guys I've had on the show that moved. They're down in Franklin, or they're up north of Nashville. And they were all in bands, and one wrote a song for Kid Rock, and Mickey James just moved there, the WWE wrestler and country singer, but she's
Oh, cool.
north of Nashville.
Yeah, it's become too expensive to live in Nashville. I mean, it's still expensive just being in a bus,
It is.
For a tiny little space.
You're in your bus, which you call Stagecoach.
The Stagecoach, yeah.
Which would be awesome if you played at the Stagecoach Festival out here.
I know. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's a dream one day. We would love to.
And then, so you've been a band for about 4 years. I almost feel embarrassed now because I bought your new album and I listened to it. I won't ask you ever again to play a cover song on any of your TikTok lives. Just play some of your own dang songs. You got 11 songs to sing. You got plenty of music.
Yep.
Plenty of material.
Plenty of material.
Playing on TikTok is similar to playing on Broadway.
A little bit. I mean, people want to hear their favorites. We understand that. And I mean, even artists like Eric Church, when they do a live album, they're going to do some covers in there. I mean, it's always fun to play your favorites. So.
And we try to put our twist, our Velvet Rodeo twist on cover songs. So, so a lot of people.
Do you have I thought when I was in Nashville, I saw a couple of guys, performers, have their Venmo sign.
Yeah.
And so they just stick up a Venmo sign. So and even one guy had a QR code, so you could just take a picture of it and then send him money that way and tip that way.
Right.
Yeah, we do that. We have our QR code, but it just takes you to our link tree. And but a lot of people downtown will have their Venmo code, but they also have a sign that's like $20 per request.
Right. And we try not to do that.
We don't do that. Yeah.
Like give what you can, and we're happy to play whatever song you want to hear.
I didn't know there was a tip minimum. That's kind of crazy.
A lot of bands do that. Yeah.
And then if you want a song like
if you want a song like Man, I Feel Like a Woman, then you're gonna pay for it.
Yeah. What's the one that Darius Ruckers redid?
Oh, Wagon Wheel.
Wagon Wheel. You want Wagon Wheel, $100. Yeah. So
that's that's pretty standard.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah. But we don't do that. So
no.
And then a lot of people too, like if they have a fiddle player, they'll start and do a snippet of The Devil Went Down to Georgia. And then they'll say, if you want to hear the rest of it, it's gonna be $100.
They'll tease it. They'll tease it. Yeah.
My wife used to work at a dueling piano bar, and they all worked on mainly, right? Piano players, and everyone wanted to hear Piano Man from Billy Joel.
Yes.
The Bohemian Rhapsody. There were certain songs that everyone, so they would build up to it, and they do the same thing. They play a little piece of it, and they go, we haven't got enough tips for that one yet. And they go, because they're like, we hate playing that song after 20 years of playing Piano Man every night you work.
Yeah. And that's the thing about, like, when we write songs, Cerveza Summer.
Yeah.
That song was just written for, I called it a throwaway song, and
we weren't even going to record it, but then we did like a hometown show. We played it for all our original fans, and they ended up loving it and told us it was going to be like their whole like summertime anthem. And so as soon as we made it back to Nashville, we got in the studio and recorded it. And you were telling the guy, he was like, it's just a throwaway song.
Yeah. So we originally wrote the song for a beer, because we have our own beer, and the company, the brewery that does our Velvet Rodeo beer, they do a beer called Cerveza. Perfect. And so we did a Cerveza tour, and so we wrote the song specifically that. And but then, like Leah said, it kind of became a beach anthem or a boat anthem song. So when we were in the studio, I told his name's Eli. I told Eli, I said, yeah, this is kind of just a throwaway song. And he looked at me and he said, you mean like Achy Breaky Heart? Touche. Yeah.
Because that was a throwaway song before it became a hit. Nobody knew. Nobody ever knows. That's what we found out in Nashville. No one ever knows when it's a hit.
They just keep making them and writing them and recording them.
Yep. And there's so many great songs that have never even been cut yet.
Yeah.
It's just insane.
Well, that's why I kind of joke, like, Chris Stapleton is a singer-songwriter known for songwriting long before
Oh yeah.
singing. But then his number one hit, he didn't even write. It's
Right.
a George Jones remake. It's like
Right.
one of the best songwriters out there remakes a George Jones song, and
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
so you just never know.
Yeah. I know you've seen of course, all the Jason Aldean stuff in the news and on social media, but we were a little disappointed that Jason Isbell, because we're such huge Jason Isbell fans because of his songwriting.
Yeah, he's
No,
amazing.
this one.
He took a little. He kind of
Yeah.
shot a shot across the bow. With in our
Yeah.
hometown, we write our own songs, but there's so many people that,
I
like you said,
mean,
Blake Shelton. I mean, Old Red was a remake, right? I mean,
I know. Yeah. And that just goes along with you never know. You never know what's going to resonate with people. And then hopefully whatever song does get your foot in the door, they'll start resonating with your original material as well.
Jason Isbell's had a history of doing that, though. Like he wasn't.
Oh, really?
With Morgan
Oh.
Wallen when Morgan
Yeah.
redid the song.
Exactly. Cover me up. Yeah,
I think
exactly.
I think he may be a little bitter.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
as you would be, you write a great song and then
Right.
somebody else takes it and makes it a number one.
I would probably feel that way, if it wasn't me.
Yeah, I don't know how. I'm not a performer, so I don't know, because I'm a salesperson, so I want the check. So
Right.
if Jason Isbell was still getting the money, then for the publishing rights of it, then great. I don't know.
I mean,
I remember seeing an interview with Dolly Parton about "I Will Always Love You,"
yeah,
right?
exactly.
And she's like, "I don't care who sings it." And she's like, "I'm
That's a good-
still getting paid."
There you go.
Well, that almost happened with Neon Reason for us,
A
right?
little bit, yeah.
Yeah, we finished writing the song Neon Reason. It was Brian and myself and then two other writers writing that song. And they wrote it, we were all writing it specifically for us, the performers. And it turned out they thought so good. They started texting every producer and musician they knew
Trying to sell it.
to get a bigger name on it. And at first, I don't know, I was a little like, oh, I thought this song was going to be for us. But then, you start thinking about it and like, well, if, Lady Antebellum or somebody wants to pick it up, then go for it,
But Lady A now.
Lady A now.
Yeah, you can't say that bad word.
Can't say that
Yeah,
word.
that's
Sorry.
good.
Yeah, but if you can make $500,000, when someone else makes it a number one,
yeah.
That's
what I mean. It's like, I don't know.
Exactly.
Not a bad day.
Isbell can still sing that song.
Sure.
So I don't know. I don't know how I feel. I think that's just Jason's deal. I don't know him at all.
Yeah, it is.
Well, we saw him last October at the Ryman,
Yeah.
and it was absolutely amazing. I mean, he's an amazing man.
Yeah.
Like,
Great.
he doesn't say a lot. He plays and sings. So,
But George Strait was like that. He didn't talk. Well, he talked a little bit, but I saw him at the rodeo in Vegas.
oh yeah,
No, yeah, that's a late show for people that actually work at the rodeo, because I think he started like at 10, because he has to start after the rodeo, and the rodeo ends like 9, and they got an opener, and I was just like, oh, I was getting tired. It was midnight. Yeah. It's like, okay, I'm done.
He just played here in Nashville last weekend and got rained out.
Nissan Stadium. He played
really?
for 30 minutes. He played for 30 minutes. Yeah. He only got to Amarillo by Morning was his last song, and then they pulled him off stage. He had Little Big Town and Chris Stapleton opening for him.
Wow. That's a good show.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were walking everybody out of the arena, and they were turning like all the big screens off behind him, and he's like looking at the band and they're looking around. I was, what are they doing? And he starts singing Amarillo by Morning as everybody's walking out. So
I gotcha.
Yeah, still a pretty classy move,
Oh yeah,
the king.
it is. Yeah, he is George Strait.
Yeah.
He is George Strait. Yeah,
that's all I can say. What how do you describe your sound of rodeo?
Yeah, so we do have a bit of a 90s country sound to our stuff, but our influences when we first started singing together were Civil Wars, and we loved the harmony of the Civil Wars and the connection and things like that. But we feel like we have a little, our songs are obviously not as, what's the word I'm looking for?
Somber.
Yeah.
Not so down. We like more high energy, more fun songs for the most part. And so but we also like to really throw it back to like an old Western sound too. So it's kind of like a 90s Western and kind of like a hippie vibe sometimes, I feel.
Bridges That I Burned, if you listen to the album, and that's the first song on the album.
Yeah.
And to us, like, that song really encapsulates the sound of Velvet Rodeo. And if I had to put a label on that sound, if Marty Robbins was playing in 2023, I feel like that would kind of be that sound, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. And I asked you first because I didn't want to. I was very pleasantly surprised. Like, there are some songs that really focus on Leah's voice, and then there's some songs that really focus on your voice, Bryan. And then you have a good combination. You have a couple songs that you all mix it up good. But then sometimes Bryan's doing the harmony behind Leah, and then sometimes Leah's doing the harmony behind Bryan. So you guys are both strong in your own right. So
thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we purposefully write songs so that we can do that.
Yeah, we want to give each other the opportunity to shine through, I feel like.
It's going to be interesting to see how y'all change over time.
Yeah. We're trying to write more duets. Like, we do want to be a true duo, but then sometimes a song, like the story or the idea behind a song, will lend itself more to a female or male vocal.
Well, you let me know when Bryan sings to Leah on high heel on the pedal, and then then I'll be worried. There are some songs for you, Leah. You know.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. Like your favorite song, you said number 11 was your favorite. If only you
knew.
And the first time that we recorded that song, I was the main vocalist on it, and we kind of tried to make it a more true duet on this new album. So Bryan sings the second verse, I sing the first verse.
Yeah, and that's why. But it was a full. It sounded like if you just heard the second verse, you think that's a song for Bryan. But if you heard just the first verse, you're going, "Oh, it's a song for Leah." So
that
was good. It's a good mix.
So the story behind that song, if you care to know, we actually had when we first started singing together, but things were starting to spark a little bit between the two of us. Right. And she came to me and she said, I've written a song for you. Right. And I was a little nervous because I had never heard her write a song. And
he didn't know.
I had no idea. And so I was like, man, this is going to be if this song is not good, I'm going to have to lie about this like the rest of my life, because it was like, I didn't want to hurt her feelings, but
I love
obviously you heard the song.
Thankfully, Leah wrote a good song, so it worked out.
That's right. Yeah.
And you know what? It was just one of those songs where I was just writing what I was feeling, and I actually wrote that song in under 10 minutes, like music and everything. And that so rarely happens. Like, there are songs that I have wrestled with for over a year sometimes before I finish them or find the right lyric that makes me happy. But that song just kind of came out on paper. In under 10 minutes.
I saw an interview with another singer-songwriter, and he had a song. It was like 5 years, and he did a documentary of him, and he recorded that song, the bulk of that song. And I'm like, hey, that wasn't on that album. And then he goes on to explain that he didn't feel like it fit in that album, so he just waited until the next album. That's gotta be hard.
Yeah,
it was one of his biggest hits on the album. So
crazy. Yeah. I mean, we kind of try to plan out like that, like different themes for different albums, and we've got a lot of songs we've written we've not put out yet or recorded yet, and we want to just kind of keep with the theme of each album. And so there'll be some songs next one I'm sure that we've written before.
Do you have, I mean, I have no idea what it's like. So like, you have some party songs, you have some ballads, you have some duets, you have some solo songs, you have the Cerveza summer song. Is that all on purpose, or does it just kind of happen?
So this first album, I mean, we wanted to really focus on the neon reasons of the album, the true kind of duet songs. But,
Right.
Cerveza Summer, we kind of talked about that earlier.
Yeah.
It definitely was more of an accident, kind of a happy accident kind of thing. But then if you look at the album, it starts out with a lot of, because of our past relationships that we were in before meeting each other, it's a lot of like tension,
like heartbreak songs, and like the whole theme of the album is getting back in the saddle, because we're comparing love to a rodeo. Like sometimes you get on the horse and sometimes you get thrown and love doesn't work out, but it's all about getting back up and dusting yourself off, getting back in the saddle and seeing if you can hang on for more than those 8 seconds. So that's kind of what we tried to come through on the album.
I mean, I think the best line that it just sticks in my head is, "You're just the water under the bridges I've burned." That's a good line.
Thank you.
So Leah is the queen of, we call them hooks, and we typically, that's how we write. We'll come up with a hook for a song, and then we write around it. But Leah is definitely the queen of hooks.
Yeah, I had that line written, "Water under the bridges. You're just water under the bridges I burned," before we even made the move to Nashville. It's been in my song notebook, my song journal for a long time, and we waited till we got to Nashville to actually write it. But yeah, been wanting to write that one for a while.
That's a good one. How did y'all end up on a bus?
So we played in North Carolina on the coast for a couple years, and we lived on a little horse farm, not a big ranch or anything, just a small little horse farm. And just maybe a block or so down the road, our bus was sitting behind a house, and it was at a workshop behind this guy's house, and it was just a gray primer, and it looked like it hadn't been touched in a while. And every time I would pass it, I would look, and I showed her one day, I was like, "Hey, check this, old bus out." And we had no idea anything about it really. And
right. And he had been wanting to renovate a bus, and we've been thinking about traveling, but and then all of a sudden this bus kind of appeared around the block from us.
So we were out one day, and there was someone mowing grass out front, and I like turned in, and Leah's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm gonna ask this guy about the bus." And rolled the window down. He came up, and we introduced ourselves, and he goes, "Oh yeah," he said, "that's my dad's bus, and he wants to sell it." And he's like, "Actually, he's back in the workshop now if you want to meet him." So we go back, and he takes us in, and this giant of a man,
like he's 6'2".
Yeah, he's 6'3", 6'2", at 79 years old. Right. I can't imagine what he was like when he was 25. Comes walking out and introduces himself. He's very stoic, and but it didn't take him very long. Like, he was definitely, he loved Leah to death, of course. And so his name's Mr. Lewis, and but he, at the end of the conversation, he's like, y'all call me Pops. He's like, everybody calls me Pops.
Yeah, he's so sweet.
And long story short, we ended up buying the bus from him for $1,000. It's a 1964. He had renovated it or converted it from a bus that was used in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, for a baseball team.
Okay.
Back in the late 60s.
Yep.
And he converted it in the 80s, early 80s. It took him 4 years. And so it had been basically sitting for 4 years.
Wow. And
his health was kind of failing, and but we literally gutted the whole thing and kind of made it into a little bit of a saloon feel. It almost feels like the Wild Wild West train car, that on the movie. And so but we redid the whole thing ourselves while we worked full time, and we did over 200 shows that year too. So it was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears went into this bus.
It was a busy year. Yeah.
I was going to ask, there's going to come a time where you'll be playing at the Opry and all that stuff, and people, you hope they understand that it hasn't always been plush,
Yeah.
Right.
working full time, having 200 shows, rehabbing a bus,
Yeah.
there's stories behind all that success.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's what makes it so good.
Yeah.
That's what I think makes music good in general. It's not just the music, and specifically country music. To me, like, you're singing about something, that you're singing about real life, and typically there's a story behind that real life that you've experienced. And not to say that a rap artist doesn't have that same process.
They're different. Yeah.
But country music for us, you can feel that struggle, you can feel the joy, you can feel the pain.
You can relate to it.
Yeah, and I think that's the good part of you guys being a duo, because obviously there are guy sides of the story, and then there's a female side of the story, and you can, as a group, you get to share both sides.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's what we've said, from the very beginning, that obviously we would love to take Velvet Rodeo as far as we can, and we don't know what that looks like right now. But we've also said we're going to enjoy every step of the process, and enjoy the process, even the bad, the hard times. You have to enjoy those as well.
Oh.
I've told this to a couple of my guests. I saw an interview with Joe Walsh, who's the guitarist from the Eagles. So, and then he had his own solo career and all that. But he's had this wonderful career, and the interview goes, what was it like having such a storied, beautiful career over 50 years of all your successes? And he goes, it didn't feel that way at the time. Because you don't really see the struggles a lot of, you
right.
We as listeners don't see a lot of the struggles. Now, I guess, I don't know. I was thinking, like, current artists, like, you get to be on TikTok, so people actually get to see your day-to-day kind of stuff. So when your bus breaks down or something happens, you're going to share it with your fans. But back in the day,
they didn't way to communicate that. Yeah. It's definitely has opened up a lot of being able to see a glimpse into the life of artists more with TikTok and social media.
That's good. Sometimes it's bad, right?
Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. But I feel like one of the things that have made us has given us the success that we've gotten so far is that we are real. I think that's been one of the biggest compliments that we get is, like, people are like, oh my gosh, you guys are just real, like, you're
well, we don't know how to be anybody else, so we're just always going to be ourselves.
You'll figure that out.
I guess so. Yeah,
I hope not. I don't want to figure that out. I'm always going to want to be us.
The best compliment I always get is, you don't seem like you're from California. I don't know what that means, but okay.
Yeah.
Take it as a compliment, right?
I do. So when I'm working at the rodeo, I meet people from around the world, and it's I mean, it's weird to think people come from Scotland, England, Australia, Brazil, just to watch the rodeo, the NFR in Vegas, and you're like, man, I didn't want to drive 300 miles, but I have to do it for work, so it's different.
And they're traveling from around the world.
It's their vacation,
Yeah.
And I think that's I just wonder, other artists, do they start taking that for granted? Like, I mean, if people show up, like you just had fans before our interview, and you're like talking to your fans and all that come in from out of town, and it's a big deal. But at some point, there's gonna be people that drive or fly to come see you guys perform. It's kind of
it's
cool.
I think it's been very surreal, but to me, like, even beyond that is our fans now will send us messages of, like, them listening to our music doing life, like
Right. Going to the grocery
whatever.
store, listening to Velvet Rodeo, or on the boat out on the lake or on the beach, you know, with the radio turned up, and they'll take a picture and send it to us. And that means the world to us. And even this past year, we've started having some fans send us like fan art in the mail. And we never thought that would ever happen. We've got friendship bracelets where they put Velvet Rodeo.
Yeah,
I'm wearing mine. I'm wearing mine today. But someone sent us Velvet Rodeo friendship bracelets. I'm trying to think of a painting. Someone at one of our shows took a picture, and they were a painter, and they went home and they painted the whole scene of us singing and sent us the painting. And then Halloween, we came home one day from a show, and there was a pumpkin with Velvet Rodeo on the front of the pumpkin.
Oh, wow.
Around time. It was, crazy.
Well, in that sense, you're kind of fortunate because Brian's pretty skilled at the graphic design, right?
Oh yeah. He's really good at that.
I mean, because I see a lot of bands and some people are just performers. A lot of cowboys are that way, right? A lot of cowboys.
Right.
I team rope. That's what I do. I don't do social media. I don't do posts. I don't do graphics. I team rope. And you're like, yeah, but you could get sponsors if you do some of these things.
Right.
Yeah.
But and some artists are like
amazing. Brian's amazing at design and coming up with our logos and images, and I'm in charge of all our socials. So that's kind of what I do behind the scenes. And so we're a pretty good team.
Yeah.
I think.
It seems, I'm sure you've heard that you have all the pieces.
We're trying to make it easier on ourselves, as easy as we can. You know,
well, you have to now,
have
right?
a look, have the songs. You know, we tried to package ourselves up as much as we could before we even made the move.
Well, but I mean, back in the day, they had A&R people at labels,
right?
That would do all that for you. They'd say, "Hey, wear more brown, Brian, because it goes with your skin tones, and Leah, wear more velvet, and this and that." And hey,
now they want you to figure it out for yourself and be ready for them. Yeah.
Someone said the other day that labels no longer develop artists.
No,
they basically partner with companies.
Yeah, businesses.
It's like we already have to be successful. We already have to have all the followers.
Yeah. And
then they want to come in and say, okay, you've got these followers, and that's great, and we can take you from here to the next level. To the next level.
Yeah.
Which it's fair.
He's not changing it. So.
Well, it's such a gamble, and that's why it's difficult to find capital and to find the things that you need to take yourself to that next level. And that's where we are right now. We're a duo, and we normally play shows, just the two of us, but we can't book larger venues because we're not a full band.
Right.
But we can't afford to pay a full band because we're not booking larger venues.
It's a catch. It's a catch 22 of all time right there.
Yeah.
We're in a growing phase right now. Yeah,
well, I think
sure.
Because I heard a lot of your duo stuff, but your full band from the album is really good. I mean, the slide guitars and the guitar on Cerveza Summer is great,
Yeah, that's Nashville.
Yeah. I mean,
everyone here is phenomenal.
If you can perform with a fuller band, that obviously would be.
Yeah, it's more fun for us because it frees us up to actually perform more than to focus on the playing and performing, trying to do both. Or, a lot of times Leah, she likes to go out into the crowd and sing and pull the crowd in.
Yeah, if I'm not having to play keys, I'm out dancing with people, or I'm up on the bar or up on a table. I mean, at one venue, I climbed to the third story stairwell and I sing to everybody from the third story. It's so cool. But it's definitely much easier. We have so much more flexibility if we have a full band with us.
So we just got to get you to that point, right?
Yeah.
I mean, but what we've decided to do is just lean into the duo thing, and try to build our fan base up.
Okay.
Not only going out, but also utilizing TikTok or utilizing social media more to build our fan base up to get us to that point where we can, have a full-time band.
Yeah, or at least a steady. Well, I mean, it's Nashville, right? I mean, if they called you tomorrow and said, "Hey, we want you at the Ryman to open up for XYZ,"
yeah, we could throw a band together.
yeah. There's enough people in that town.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the thing with the Opry is that you have to use their bands.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're all union.
Forget it then. We're not going to go there.
Hey, we don't mind.
Is the Ryman the same way?
I don't think the Ryman's.
Okay.
I think the Ryman, you'd have to bring your own set. That's pretty cool though.
But typically you're only singing 1 or 2 songs at the Opry anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, really? Is that how that works?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Shenandoah was there a couple of months ago, and they were supposed to have a full set, I think, and they ended up cutting it down to 15 minutes. They got to do like 2 or 3 songs.
I think they started with 20 minutes and they got cut down to like 10
minutes. Okay. So they only did 2 or 3
and
songs.
That's Shenandoah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's still a live radio program, right? I mean, that's kind of the.
It is, and that's where it was all. That's kind of the format of the show.
Yeah. But it's always been more of a variety show.
Absolutely. I mean, going back to the Yeehaw days.
Yeah.
Oh, I just dated myself, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, it's okay. Of all the locations around the country that I know you want to play at the Opry. That's why I have the Opry background there. But what other locations do you guys kind of go, God, wouldn't it be great? Are there specific locations?
So for me, there's 2. The Ryman, of course. I would love to play the Ryman.
Yeah.
The sound in there is amazing, and just to know the history, and that's where everything's.
His is the Ryman. Mine is definitely the Opry. Then both of us would love to play Red Rocks in Colorado.
That's a cool venue.
Oh, it's just it's breathtaking. I mean, I tried taking photographs of the rocks, and a photograph you can't capture it in a photograph. It's like, I can't imagine playing on that stage,
At sunset. Like I think
at
sunset would be awesome. Like instead of at night where it's just pitch black. I think at sunset.
Oh yeah.
Like start like an hour before the sunset.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's just a breathtaking venue. It's amazing.
See, if I was an artist, that would be mine too. Like that would, I just think that's a cool place.
Yeah. And then there's the have you heard of the underground, the bluegrass underground?
I was thinking about that too.
There's caverns. They're outside of, I think it's Kentucky or Western Tennessee, Kentucky area.
Okay.
And
it's called the Caverns.
Yeah, the Caverns, and you don't really need that much of an acoustic or PA system because the acoustics inside.
All natural acoustics. I've heard it's amazing.
I saw an Airbnb in a cave in Tennessee.
Oh yeah.
The guy had that land and he actually built a house inside this big old cave.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's better than the one I've seen where underwater. I don't know that I could. Yeah.
Well, I like the one in Dubai where you get to your bedroom's underneath the water and one wall of your room is glass. It's like, 8-inch thick.
Wow.
So it's an aquarium.
I would do that.
Yeah.
Just for the bedroom. Yeah.
Yeah.
I say sign us up.
I'm ready. Yeah, I'm ready.
Exactly.
Do they like country music in Dubai?
I know. I wonder. That would be great.
I think for the right price, they would do anything. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Australia would be good for you guys. Australia has a really good country.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
No, I mean, Keith Urban's from there.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot of cowboys. Actually, I had guys on that have a huge cattle ranch on Tasmania and New Zealand, and then one of the ranches is in Australia.
Well, maybe you can connect us, and then they'll have us down to play.
That would be incredible.
We can go eat some beef and
yeah. Maybe I'll run into Hugh Jackman. I'm a Hugh Jackman fan, so
there you go. The beef is unbelievable.
I bet.
I couldn't. I mean, the cattle, literally, the ranch on Tasmania is part of it's on this separate island that you can only access at low tide. So the cows at low tide just walk across the sandbar and go over to the other part of the island and just graze, and then they just kind of casually bring them back. There's no feedlots. There's no.
Yeah.
This cattle live really well, and their meat tastes really well.
Yeah. To me, it's like, I wonder if, I guess like Brazil would probably be the next. I don't know if Brazil does more cattle than Australia, but
they definitely do more. I don't know if it's better, but I mean, there's just more people. But in Brazil is huge for a lot of bull riders. All the PBR guys are all Brazilian.
So I saw a PBR meme, I think today on Facebook. Sorry, this is like a dad joke, I think. But
okay.
Said, what do you call a sleeping bull? It's a bulldozer.
A bulldozer.
Sorry, I had to. It was like PBR, but it was like this really like snotty looking bull.
Real nasty bull. Gotcha.
Yeah.
You're gonna remember this one. I'm gonna keep that. That'll be the meme for this episode.
Bulldozer.
Yeah. The bulldozer episode.
That's funny.
It's like, okay.
Whatever works. Whatever works for you, Pete.
There you go. So I know during COVID, I didn't travel that much at all for work, and my wife was laid off, and we got to stay in our lovely place. How's it like living in a bus with your
during COVID or after?
No,
COVID?
just in general. I mean, it's a confined space
during COVID.
It's a small space.
Yes, it is a small space. We've been on the bus almost 2 years now.
We love each other.
We do love each other.
You have to.
We haven't hurt or killed each other yet, but it's been great. I feel like we don't get tired of each other. We love spending time with one another, and we're always either brainstorming or songwriting or, I don't know, cooking together. Like even when we go to the grocery store, we go together, and when he gets his hair cut, I go with him, and if I have errands to run, he'll go with me. Like, we spend 24/7 together.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting.
We're just, I mean, he's my best friend, and we're just best friends. So
my wife and I, we found out we really do like each other, after going through COVID, and and you're like, okay, in California everything was shut down, so it's like, where do you want to go? Nowhere. They closed the beaches, they closed the parks, they closed everything.
Yeah.
So it was like,
so how long were y'all closed down for?
The longest of any state in the country. So
right. How long was that?
I don't want to exaggerate. It was months. I mean, it was literally, if not going to years, and then they opened up a little bit, and then you didn't have to stand in line outside to get into the stores for a while, but then they reverted back to that.
Mm-hmm.
So it was.
When did the mask thing start to go away for you guys?
Just last year. I mean, we were
last year.
Months, yeah. Like
for us,
even when the federal government said you don't have to wear them anymore, the city of LA, the county of LA supervisors said at medical offices and public transportation, which is Uber and is the airport, you still have to wear a mask. So I would not have to wear a mask here, but then if I got into the Uber to go to the airport, I'd have to wear it. Then I would have to wear it up to the point of going through TSA screening. I'm supposed to wear the mask. But once I get through TSA, now it's a federal, so now I don't have to wear it again. It was just bizarre. It was like,
yeah.
It was interesting to see how local government they really flexed their their power, tried to, in a lot of places. We were fortunate on the coast of North Carolina. We were only maybe 2 months
Yeah,
we
maybe
had
2 months.
that we didn't sing, a month and a half.
Oh, we were well into a year, and then it was
Yeah.
like L.A. County had its own rules. So like I'm 35 miles from Orange County, like Disneyland and all that. We could go down there and eat in a restaurant without a mask on, but if I went across the street in L.A. County, I'd have to put a mask back on until I sat down. Then I could take it off to eat.
Right.
When I
Right.
leave, I'd have
Right.
to put it back on, and then take it off when I get into the street. But put it back on when I get into the Uber. Yeah. It
My
was a fun disease.
my cowboy nature that doesn't really
It didn't go well with that
Go
that
well.
era, that period of time.
It
Yeah.
didn't go well with me either, or my wife.
yeah.
It was nice when I got to go to Vegas, Dallas, Tennessee. I didn't have to bring my mask. I had to bring it, but because I had to come home.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I know people were scared and all that good stuff, but a lot of it just didn't make common sense to me.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
Right.
and
Wow.
still does.
My dad always said, "Man, I should write a book about common sense." I said, "Pop, the people that need it won't have the common sense to buy the book."
They won't.
Yeah. They won't read it.
They think they've already got it. So
Yeah, they already got it figured out.
yeah.
So that's interesting.
Yeah.
What are your expectations for traveling over the next couple of years? I mean,
So we want to Nashville's an amazing place to be creative.
Yeah.
And in the music business, we have to be here. We have to maintain, friendships and relationships here in Nashville. But we've also realized that we need to push out to build that fan base.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're trying to prepare for next summer, is to do more of a bigger tour, more of a
Nationwide
more
and-
nationwide tour.
Yeah.
It's just like I said, we're trying to, everything takes money, right? So
yeah.
so we're trying to be able to book enough to be able to do that, and then also to be able to travel and make sure we get there safely and all that stuff. So.
Well, I going back to the label thing, back in the day, like if you sold 1 million albums, you made a lot of money. Well, you're not selling 1 million albums anymore. You're selling maybe 1 million streams. So
Right.
you get
Right.
0.0003.
At 0.03 cent. Yeah. A stream. Yeah.
I mean, I try to explain that to people. I'm like, because they think, oh, artists they did millions of streams. I'm like, yeah, that means they made like $8,000.
Right.
With millions of
Yeah.
streams.
Yeah. And it costs more than that to,
Make an album.
make an album.
Yeah.
And for them, it costs more than that to make one song, so.
Well, that's why, touring is kind of where musicians make money now, or publishing. That's kind of it.
That's it. And merch. We
Yeah.
we do pretty well with selling merch and things like that. I remember when we first started singing together, Leah wanted to start selling jewelry, and I was like, people aren't going to buy jewelry at our shows.
Well, I had so many people come up to me after the show asking me where I got my jewelry from or my clothes. And I'm like, what if I just had whatever I was wearing? What if I just bought extra and put it out there to sell? And what did you say?
I said I was wrong.
He said no one wants to buy that stuff at a show. And but I started putting out a little bit, and sure enough, like we started. Jewelry is our #1 seller right now at our shows.
You were way wrong, buddy.
I was way wrong, and I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that.
At least I'm bringing something to the table.
Yeah, I've heard you sing. You do okay in that realm too. And now I know you write the song, so
Not all of them.
no, not all, but
Yeah.
you guys are really well balanced. So Brian's not writing all the songs, and you're just the voice, and you're not just the writer.
Yep. We're a team. We are 50-50 all the way.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting. We can play a venue, and 90% of everyone there will come up and just like be all about Leah and like, oh my gosh, your voice is amazing. And but then we can do a show the very next day with a different crowd, and everybody's coming up to me and they're like
telling him,
oh my gosh, you have this, they're comparing me to their favorite
Yeah.
We got something for everybody. We got something for everybody.
Yeah.
Is how I look at
kind
it.
of do, because you both have a little gravel. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you both have good harmonies. So I mean, that's kind of the theater background, I guess. But you guys put it together good. So
Yeah, thank you.
Try to.
We it has been interesting, and you know, I would say that Nashville is probably 98% solo artist.
yeah,
And
that's what I mean.
so,
Yeah.
so it's
Yeah.
really helped us kind of stand out too. And also us being together, because that's a even more of an oddity here, because you'll have maybe a duo that sings together, but you know, they basically take turns singing. Like when they mean
That's what I was
duo,
trying to explain. Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
they take turns singing, and they split the show up, and but we're singing on every song. We're both singing on every single song. So
Well,
um,
and like, not that it's a bad thing. There are some girls out there that are just a pretty face with a nice voice, but they don't write songs. They don't think about merch. They don't think about, they're just the pretty girl with a great voice.
yeah.
Leah's got kind of everything, right? I mean, so
Well, I mean, she's doing all of her, you know, own wardrobe, and then
yeah.
she sews, she's writing songs, she's, you know, doing the vocals, and she's doing social media. And so yeah, I mean, she's like very talented, and brings a lot to the table, of course.
So we just got to get you up to that next level, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I told someone the other day, I used the phrase, you've seen what we can do with an audience. Now we just need a bigger audience.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we feel confident that we're ready to move on to that next step, that next level. It's just navigating how to get there.
Yeah. Well, and then are you guys thinking about like the PR firms that are around Nashville? Do you think about managers, touring managers, band managers?
We've had a couple managers reach out. We're trying to do it ourselves as much as we can, stay independent as long as we can.
But we would probably benefit from
I
having
think so.
a booking agent more than anything right
if
now.
we find the right fit, I think a booking agent would be great.
You know, someone that has the connection, someone that knows what our style is and what we can and can't do. And someone that is there to make money when we make money, that type of a thing. So that's probably our next step, is to try to find someone that actively does that. So
is it rare? I mean, it's to me, it seems rare. A lot of the people I've talked to that are up and coming will release one song, release two songs, maybe to release one song over a few months. Whereas you guys get out an 11 track album. I mean, that seemed rare.
Yeah, I think the trend, especially since streaming has been around, is that people are doing more and more singles.
Yeah.
And we did that when we first moved. Part of the album came out as sing two.
Yeah, we had two or three singles.
Three
singles last year.
Yeah.
3 singles last year.
But then yes, it is odd now that people are coming out with a full album. But we wanted to stand out, so
be a little different.
There you go.
Yeah.
So what's coming up? Do you have what tour plans do you have coming up, or singing, or where's the bus going? How's that?
We actually are headed to North Carolina on Monday. We have about 4 or 5 shows. We're going to be gone from Nashville until the end of August. The last weekend of August, we go to Ohio. So those are kind of our
Steps.
immediate tour plans. So
What's the deal with Ohio?
We met some folks playing on Broadway, and they've set up 3 shows for us in Ohio.
Yeah, there's 3 different venues in Ohio. I can't even name them right now, but they scheduled the dates for us, and so we're going up there to play for them.
You're gonna be like, is that like in the Cincinnati area, Columbus area? Do you know?
Yeah, it's
Southern.
No, it's northern Ohio.
Okay.
It's and sorry, the name of the town has completely left me.
That's all right.
But it's around the lake, and
oh wow, okay.
Yeah, there's one venue. It's called the Dirty Oar, So yeah, if that tells you anything.
about that?
But it's a cool, like cool bar on the lake.
Sounds fun.
And,
You
yeah,
should call and see if the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame has any openings, and you can just do a drop-in set.
good drop-in set in the Rock and Roll Hall. Dolly did it.
We did the Country Music Hall of Fame here in Nashville. We sang
There you
there. Yeah, that's been one of our favorite shows so far. Yeah. There was Little Big Town playing on the floor above us, and then we were the floor below. It was so fun.
That's the weird thing about Nashville. That's to me, that's just the bizarre.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like, just that guy sounds really good. Oh, that person sounds really good. Oh, they killed it. Oh, they slayed. It's like there's a lot of good talent in that town.
oh,
yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Moving here from North Carolina, we had some naysayers, I guess, if you will.
Sure.
And, people that told us that we were going to get in certain parts of our anatomy handed to us when we came to Nashville. And so we're excited and proud, and we feel validated that we came to Nashville.
Yeah.
We've been able to play. We've been able to do things that a lot of people haven't been able to do being here for
We've
10
been
years.
super fortunate, and we've worked hard. We worked hard for it.
Well, I'll tell you, because we're 30, 40 minutes into this. So my haters aren't listening is what I'm saying. Is I had a lot of people when I started my podcast, they were like, what are you going to do? What do you know about this? No. And I'm like, oh, see what happens and just keep going.
Yeah. I mean,
I had friends that I do jujitsu with, and they were in bands. Like these are friends that I trained with and went to tournaments with. And then they said no to being on my show because they didn't see me as the podcaster. They just saw me as Pete, this guy.
Right.
So
Right.
all of a sudden I'm having Emmett Smith and some of these other people, and they're like, I just leave it at that.
right.
I mean, sometimes we've talked about this phenomenon, but it's kind of when we made the move, certain members of our own family or our close friends, they couldn't see us any other way than the way they've known us our whole lives. Right. And we've always heard the saying, you have to leave the people that knew you, that have known you, to become something different and then return.
I had a friend that I played football with in high school, and he wouldn't be on the show. He said no. I don't like. He traveled to China as an English teacher, so I was like, oh, that'd be kind of cool to talk about.
Yeah, that's so strange. It's wild to me.
I can never imagine saying no to anything like that. I mean, to me, this is like.
But I'm just Pete. I mean, he knew me when I was literally a snot-nosed, zit-faced kid and 14 years old. Football,
Yeah.
Right, and some will never see you any other way, and it's so funny.
Yeah, I just don't take it personal.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, you can't. You can't.
We just prove them wrong. That's all.
That's right. I noticed he still watches my my feed, so he's seeing all the people that I've had on. That's pretty cool. And you'll be the same way. You'll be like, oh yeah, we played with Reba last night. It was great. Blah blah. Blah. And they're like,
I hope so.
I hope you're right. Yeah.
Who would you, other than headlining, obviously, who would you? I mean, what are some of your dream opening jobs? Like, who would you like to open?
I mean, for me, I've always been a huge Garth Brooks fan. But I also grew up about 8 miles away from Eric Church. And I'm a huge fan of his songwriting and just him in general.
He loves Eric Church.
So I wouldn't want to open for someone that was, like a Lady A, right? I wouldn't want to open for them because we're too similar, I feel like. But if we could open for someone like an Eric Church, or you may have other people that you would like to open.
I mean, I wouldn't mind opening for Carrie Underwood, or if she wanted to sing High Heel on the Pedal with me, I think that song is up her alley. I think that would be so cool. I've always kind of looked up to her as another strong female vocalist. And Dolly, of course, I just think everything she has done in her career is so wonderful. So, yeah.
Let's go for Eric Church first. And then we'll hit Carrie.
We'll work our way up to Dolly. Yeah.
Dolly might be
I told Brian, because Eric Church's parents know Brian's parents through work. I mean, they should just get him the hookup, but
No comment.
No
Yeah,
comment.
no comment.
No
You
comment.
can't rely on parents. And
No,
You can't.
No.
I met his mom and dad in the airport. I was actually going to Vegas for work, and they were going for I think the ACMs were that in Vegas that year, and we had taken the plane was from Charlotte to Vegas, straight to Vegas, and I'm waiting on my luggage, and I see Ken Church is his dad's name, and he's like 6'3", 6'4", tall guy, and his mom I think is about 5'0", maybe, I don't know. So I mean, it's kind of a odd couple, but he recognized me at the baggage, claim or whatever, and I never met him, but he just came straight to me, and yeah, and like stuck his hand out, and I was like, did I stare too long or what? But anyways, like, I know your daddy, and I was like, I know your son, kind of.
There you go.
But yeah, it's fun. I mean, of course, it's just Eric Church. It's just Eric to them. Same, right?
Same thing.
But yeah, I mean, I think if we could open for someone that would appreciate our kind of music, but that we were not, so much like, I guess, if that makes sense.
Well, that leaves a lot, though. I mean, because, like you said, I mean, you have a lot of solo artists, not so many duets or groups. It seems like.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like Sugarland, you might not want to open for, but.
Right, Sugarland. I mean, I think Little Big Town would be fun to open for. There's not that many duos. I mean, you've got Dan and Shay and Maddie and Tay. But I feel like there's room for another duo in country music. Yeah.
Well, and we're not like I said, going back to the whole, we're not the typical duo. Number one, because we love each other. But number two, we have a lot more energy than typical like the ballady duos. I'm not not everybody, but like when you think of a duo, you think of duos that famous people have already done, but it's typically like this stay, with
Jason Aldean and Kelly Clarkson.
Yeah, it's those type of songs that you normally think of when you think duo, or
even shallow with Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper. You think these like big ballady epic ballads, and we're just so high energy. Like, we like to throw down and have fun on stage. Not that we can't pull it back and do the deep ballad every now and then. We love that too, but we just love to have fun and to perform.
Well, we just got to get you doing more of it, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that's a gene, or is it something y'all can grow?
I think it's a gene. I think you're born with it. I feel like. Do you think?
I think you can. I think it's both. Because 5 years ago, you would not have recognized Leah. She was in a very abusive situation, and so when she first started singing out, she would kind of recluse. When we weren't singing, she would recluse back to her space.
Right. I think that was just because of my environment. Like, I knew that wasn't who I was. Like, I knew the person I wanted to be. I just wasn't there yet. Yeah. Like, I feel like I've always had it inside of me. It just wasn't able to do it till recently. Bryan, I think from day one has had that gene. He was born with that for sure. But yeah.
He's
definitely the extrovert. If there's an introvert and extrovert, he's the extrovert.
We were just speaking with someone here in our we call it the camper hood,
where we live.
And we were speaking to someone at the pool, and she has spent like 10 years working with promoting and things like that with larger artists. And she was like, what I've learned with being around this and the business side of it, she's like, a lot of people love to sing and things like that, but they do not like the business side, or the part where you have to go out and she's like, they spend an hour singing, but then they'll spend the rest of the week doing like these events where they have to go and, dog and pony kind
of meet and
greet. And she's like, they don't like that. And Leah laughed. She was like, oh my gosh. She's like, that's the part that Bryan loves.
Yeah. I mean, we both love that part. Like, we always say it's always about the fans. Like, they're the people that you're making the music for, and we're always going to put them first.
Well, that's what I was saying to you earlier. It's like some of the cowboys I know that are world champions, literally world champions. But he's like, I talked to one, and he's like, I'm a team roper. I rope. Like, if I could be anywhere in the world right now, it would not be signing autographs. I want to be throwing the rope.
Okay.
Right.
But he knows he has to. But whereas you guys, if you have Bryan, that's like, yeah, I like signing autographs just fine.
I mean, we like both. We both like meeting new people and
yeah. Oh, I think that's what I like about my show. It's like I get to meet people like you. And
yeah.
I mean, that's
I think that we really enjoyed about TikTok that we didn't realize with the TikTok lives is we love the interaction with our fans and with people in general that come to our shows. But on Broadway, we're not afforded that luxury to be able to connect with people.
Yeah.
And so we're finding that on TikTok we can connect with people.
We didn't realize there was such a community on TikTok, and it's been wonderful to see.
TikTok's a weird beast. I was talking about this with one of my past guests yesterday. They're business owners, and they don't do anything on TikTok. And I'm like, you have to. I go, it's the weirdest thing though, that of what goes viral, what doesn't. The most watched thing I've ever done on social media ever is a stupid video on my TikTok feed. It's guys surfing at the beach, and then right below them there was a sign that said, "You cannot catch great white sharks here because they're protected species." And I just thought it was ironic. I'm reading the sign that says, "Don't catch great whites," but there's guys surfing right there.
Right.
340,000 views later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
You never. Well, it's like with our video. Like I told Bryan, I wish it was a video of us singing one of our original songs.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, I've interviewed some pretty big people, and I got nowhere near that number.
But, but it's been so good because it has pushed people to listen to our music that would never known who we are. I mean, you would not have known who we are, and we're very grateful for it. And it's a tough story for us because we feel a little jaded by it, but I'm glad we got to share it. I'm glad something positive is coming out of it.
Yeah, so that's the good part of it.
Well, that's it. I always think, like, if you have the talent and the passion for it, it'll rise up.
Yeah.
And if it takes a weird circumstance of selfie photos, making it happen for you,
and
so be it.
So be it. Yeah, we'll take it.
I appreciate the time. I don't want to eat it anymore, but it's rare that I get to talk to people, and you're, like you said, you're still normal people, right?
Sure. Oh yeah.
Cowboy Troy.
Yeah.
He opens up for Big and Rich, and
the
company I work for sponsors him, and I've known him for 13, 14 years now. And I don't think of him as Cowboy Troy. He's just Troy. So, like, we went to dinner one night in Vegas during the rodeo, and I'm just having dinner with Troy, and all of a sudden people were like sending over shots and sending over drinks and asking for autographs. And I'm like, that's so weird.
Right.
It's just like,
we've had moments. Yeah, we've had those moments, and nothing like that, not to that level. But it's still surreal that people are listening to our music without being there to play it.
Yeah.
Well, it was being listened to on Malibu Coast yesterday, so I should have taken a picture. I didn't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's very surreal that people are listening to us for so long. If people heard us, we had to be there. And now people all over the world are listening to our music, and it's so crazy.
We had someone, I posted this video a little while back, and their daughter had learned every word to High Heel on the Pedal. She'd come to one of our live shows. Awesome. And when I sang that song, she just loved it. And when she went home, she had her mom play it for her, and she has her mom play it for her every day now. She knows every word. And her mom sent me a video of her singing every word. We did a reaction video to her singing. It was just the cutest thing ever. I mean, that's the biggest compliment I think
Yeah.
that you can get as an artist.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
When we look out, when we're singing and we're performing, and I think especially at the level that we're at, it's just such a huge compliment because our music's not on radio every 10th song is not our stuff being played again, right?
Yeah.
And so when we're performing and we look out over the audience and someone is singing along,
Yeah.
like that's what music is all about for us. Like that moment it makes living on a bus worth it. It makes like trying to struggle and find the money to do an album worth it. Like that moment to me, like that's the connection that I know that I dream about.
Yeah.
And that to me, like that's music for me.
How weird! I'm sure you've already signed autographs, but how weird is that to sign an autograph?
Very.
Isn't that weird?
It absolutely is.
It is. I keep telling Brian, I'm like, I gotta work on my signature. Like, I need to give them something better than this. Like, it's just
Or not.
One of the last shows we did down in South Carolina, we were signing shoes.
Yeah.
Oh, crazy.
We were signing.
We've signed hats, shoes. It was crazy.
Well, someone brought a cowboy hat, like, right? And I'm thinking cowboy hat is, it's kind of a sacred thing, you know? I mean,
yeah,
like,
you don't mess with that too much.
Someone brought their cowboy hat for me to sign, and I was like,
yeah,
are you sure? Are you sure you want me to do it?
And we always want to do it like on the inside where it won't show. And they're like, no, do it on the outside where everyone can see that you signed it. And
you're like, do you want me to sign Garth Brooks or Eric Church? What name do you want me to put on here?
Exactly.
Yeah. I'll have to get you guys to sign my hat next time then.
That would be great.
Cool like that.
Yeah. And we'll take
too. So. Yeah, we'll take selfies.
No selfies allowed, sorry. Oh, I should do that here. Watch. Just because it's you guys. I don't know how to do this. There. I can't do it. I'm really bad at selfies. Oh, that's bad.
Oh, let me try. Let me see if I can get one.
Oh, see, she's got it down. I need that skill.
All right, I think we got it.
There we go. Selfies are allowed.
That's right.
Oh yeah.
That's proof positive. Well, if you ever get back out to California, obviously I want to definitely like a heads up.
Yeah, we definitely will. We would love to come see you if we can manage to start traveling a little bit more. So
yeah. That's always cool, right?
I all disclosure, I don't know, if they might still be looking for me on Dana Point.
The warrant might still be out.
I was there, gosh, it was a couple years ago, and I think it was like October time frame or something, and I had never been in the Pacific Ocean, and I was dressed pretty much like I'm dressed now, and I went down to the skivvies on Dana Point.
I wasn't there. I missed it.
And jumped in the ocean. So, but I was California.
I was going to say you apparently haven't been out here much because that's pretty common.
That's pretty common. Okay, good.
Yeah, you had skivvies on. That's more than sometimes.
I had the skivvies. I didn't go full Monty or anything. So.
I've seen that, so it's okay.
I gotcha. Yeah.
It's not the people you want to see necessarily.
Typically, yeah. Yeah.
You'd be fine. I just won't wear my Gus down in Dana Point. I'll be okay.
Okay.
That way they don't confuse us.
Okay. Yeah. You may want to, leave the Gus at home.
Exactly. So I appreciate. What do you have? So we talked. You got North Carolina coming up, then you got Ohio at the end of the month, and then just keep booking. Right? Where do you play in Nashville?
We play at Second Fiddle, the Stage, Legends.
A lot of places down on Broadway. A lot of the bars.
What's the best way for my listeners and your fans to find out where you are playing? So if they're coming in town for their bachelorette party, they can
So if you go to velvetrodeo.net,
Okay.
we have our calendar up there, so you can see all the places we're gonna be playing.
There you go. Isn't that weird that the bachelorette parties are so extreme there?
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I haven't seen them as much this summer, but it always does slow down during the hotter months. Last winter it was.
Well, they're all getting married in June. So.
That's true. That's true. The winter that we moved here, February 1st, I mean, it was, 20 degrees, 30 degrees downtown on Broadway.
There, yeah.
We started playing, and I told Bryan, these girls have got to be freezing. It was like they decided the outfits they were going to wear, and they were going to wear
matter the weather.
no matter what.
NFR is the same way. The rodeo in Vegas.
Yes.
Oh,
Everyone
wow.
thinks Vegas is like right now it's 118 there, right? But in the wintertime, it snows. I've been there when it snowed on the strip. So it's in the 30s and 40s. Well,
Wow.
those women didn't bring clothes for 30s and 40-degree weather. They brought it for 80-degree weather, 90-degree weather. And I make mini skirts.
Yeah.
Like no leggings, and you're like, you've got to be freezing. It's 40 degrees.
I think I love people watching. So when I go through the airport, like I just love people watching. And to me, it's like the Vegas phenomenon is always so fun to see, because inevitably you'll see some girls like going to Vegas and they've got the high heels, the skirt, the mini skirt, the
Looking
like
sharp.
Sparkles,
amazing.
sequins and fringe.
Then on the trip back, their
Not so much.
sweatpants, tennis shoes, big sweatshirt,
I'm going to send you guys a video. I'll have to find it. My wife worked in Vegas for 20 plus years as a waitress. There's a guy that did a rap song about the drunk girls that walk through Vegas. And like, so you have the giraffe walk, and then you have the stumble walk, and then you have the pinball walk where they're hitting the walls, and that's how they're getting drunk.
Yeah.
And the guy literally made a rap song, and then somebody put a video of all the girls doing the different stuff, the crawling, it's funny. But yeah, that's Vegas.
That's funny.
I always tell people Broadway is like a mini Vegas.
It is.
It is. Yeah.
I mean, it's much smaller, but
yeah,
it's the same mentality. Like people think nothing matters there, and you're like, there's a lot of cameras, right?
A lot of inhibitions get left at home.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, it's not the 90s anymore. Like there's cameras everywhere.
There's cameras everywhere.
Yeah. That's actually been a recent song idea of ours, to party like nobody knows me. And that's kind of what the idea of Broadway is.
I always tell my daughters, I go, my daughters are 28 and almost 30 now, right? I go, do you think we didn't do all that? There's just no proof.
Right.
There's literally just no proof. Like, and nor do we want it.
Which is unfortunate for them, right?
It's great for me though. It's like I only remember the good stuff, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like my first wedding. So, anyways, that's our other new song, right?
Yeah, Between the Wives.
Between the Wives. Yeah.
We already got it copyrighted, so don't steal it. Whoever's listening.
That's right. All right.
So
hopefully Miranda's not listening.
See, I didn't say her name once.
Sorry.
I know. I was
gonna leave it out. Why give her the props? She doesn't need more press.
Yeah. It was a different Miranda.
Different Miranda.
Miranda Cosgrove, the actress.
Cosgrove.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Good old Cosgrove.
Yeah. There you go. Well, hey, again, man, thanks for letting me become a fan of you guys. It's been great.
Thank you for having us on, and for the time and the exposure, and we're super grateful.
Well, I have to definitely do something. The 5,000 thing, or for the CMA award. Here, we'll definitely have to push that. And
we would love that. We need to be a new entertainer of the year. So
yeah,
cool,
we got a great prize. I mean, a trip in Nashville, stay in Nashville, and private tour, and a signed Velvet Rodeo guitar. I think that's a pretty good prize.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It might not be for you, but maybe for somebody else.
Well, obviously, I would never. I don't win that stuff. I win other things. It's weird. I'm very lucky. So.
Well, everybody's asking about the hat, so I don't know if we can make that happen. But
we'll talk offline. My thought was doing a hat similar to your shape, and then just whatever size head they are.
Okay.
That sounds good.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Sure.
So
Everybody loves a Gus.
yeah. Well, I used to, but now I can't wear one in Orange County. So
Well, I didn't mean to ruin it for you, but hey.
It's back in the closet now.
Well, when I come back, I'm still wearing it. So
Well, yeah, you have to. It's your hat. I just don't want to get
I have a
blamed for it.
reputation to uphold there now.
They sell these things called bathing suits. They're not too expensive. We'll go ahead and get you one next time you come out.
They don't work well underneath the jeans and a pearl snap, though.
This is true, but you're allowed to bring it separately. I don't need any. I always get blamed being the goofy, crazy Californian, and then people from North Carolina come, dress down
Yep.
skivvies, and they go jump in the water.
Backwoods hillbillies. Yeah,
It is what it is.
it is what it is.
No, I appreciate the time though. I will definitely next time I get out to Nashville, I'll definitely hit you guys up.
Okay, sounds good.
Fine.
We'd love to see you.
See some playing in action. It'd be good.
Yeah.
And when you
Yeah.
make Opry, we got to figure out how to make that happen for y'all.
Yep.
I'll make it.
We feel like we're ready.
You feel ready? You good enough?
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got the fingers warm. Voice is good.
Yep. We're poised, ready.
We are poised and ready. Yeah.
Well, I have to tag you for the Opry. I don't know how to. We'll have to make that happen somehow.
No, we would love. We feel like we've worked hard and we're ready.
Okay. Oh, done deal.
Done
Done.
and done.
Well, I appreciate the time. And so you want them to go to velvetrodeo.net. What's the
Yep.
what's your TikTok page name and what's the Instagram page name?
See.
Instagram is Velvet Rodeo Official,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
and TikTok is Velvet Rodeo.
Mm-hmm.
You got the good one. You got it before her.
We've had it for a while.
Yeah, I know. So let her buy it from you. That'd be cool.
Yeah. I don't think she can afford it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not anymore.
No.
Not for that debacle. But all right, guys, I appreciate the time and
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for having us on.
Yeah.
thanks, guys.